All right, so this is a message for Ledger. This is a message for Ledger, but also this is a message for those commenting on a video I did just the other day on the Nano S update by Ledger, because most of you are just missing the point. You're commenting on the video without watching the video, and I just wanted to make a couple of things clear, explain to you what the issues may be in the future, and I will also tell my opinion to Ledger. If you're listening to this, Ledger, please take it into consideration as a former CMO. And for those of you out there saying, oh my God, Paul, Ledger's a multi-million-dollar company. Yes, I was a CMO at multi-million-dollar companies, Telescott International and so on before crypto, and I was a CMO in crypto as well. I also was on board of directors and so on. So I'm not just a YouTuber here, okay? So let me just share my opinion, and please, humbly so for Ledger, tell you what I certainly believe. And for those of you commenting complete crap without knowing what you're talking about, let me make a couple of things straight, okay? So a few days ago, we heard that Ledger stopped making updates or creating updates for the Ledger Nano S. This news came to us May the 30th. Most of you have heard about this news the last couple of days. What you may not know is that Ledger allegedly stopped upgrading or fully supporting the Ledger Nano S since 2022, okay? And that's my first issue. Why are we hearing about it now? And most people still haven't heard about this. Keep that in mind because I'm going to make a point later on, okay? So, I understand that the Ledger Nano S is updated. Yes, I watched these YouTube videos from Crypto Dad and so on, and they make some pretty good points. I just believe they're missing some fundamental issues with this, okay? And I understand why some people may want to support Ledger, some people may not. I'm pretty unbiased, and I was supporting Ledger even with the backdoor access for the Ledger Nano X, and we'll briefly talk about that as well. Because again, there's a few things that I'm going to talk about in this video that not many other people are talking about. And if you think I'm babbling or taking a long time, forgive me. I'm doing this more as a talk. I'm not going to edit this video. I want this to be more of like a one-on-one, human-to-human sort of discussion, not retention editing and so on. I don't care about that. I just want to make my point. So the Ledger Nano S used up support for it. The issue is we didn't know about this in 2022. People bought Nano S's up to now, either directly or if you didn't have direct access on your website at some point through distributors, and we weren't informed, at least not collectively or consistently or enough so we know what's going on. So a simple email or two would have been suffice. I mean, you leaked our emails. You managed to get our emails leaked to hackers. The least you could have done is send an email telling us that this device is not going to be supported anymore. Why didn't you do that? What if some malware came out, something went wrong, and we got drained during these last few years? That's my issue. Now, you might say, Paul, no, the hardware wallet, it works. It works perfectly up to now. Fine. What if it happens in a few years from now from somebody that doesn't know about about Ledger stopping support? And you might say, Paul, for those of you, real quick, for those of you saying, oh my God, you have your private keys, just use another device. Oh my God, just buy another device. Look, I know that. Don't you think I don't know that? I was in this industry since 2017 as a C-level executive. I've written multiple books. I do public speaking. You don't think I know that. So those of you making stupid comments like that, I'm going to answer a couple of them later on and put you in your place. Please watch a video for a few minutes before you make judgment. Yes, I have the Nano S. Yes, I have the Nano X. Yes, I have a Trezor. I have a second Trezor. I have an Elipal. I have an X card. I have a Tangem card. I have more wallets than you probably have crypto. Okay, I could go on. I have more wallets, partly because I buy them for gifts to be able to, help and spread adoption. Also, I'm on YouTube. I get sent these a lot, okay? But I also buy my own. All these ones I just showed you, most of them I bought on my own. I have videos giving crypto wallets out, which I bought on my own. All right, so that's not the point. I'm not stingy, you muppet. Okay? And yes, I do understand you can put your private keys from a ledger into another wallet. The problem is with Bitcoin, because it uses variable addresses, you might not be able to see your Bitcoin in that new wallet. But let's not talk about that. Let's not, because all you experts out there know much more. And oh my God, just use your private key. Well, it does get a bit confusing for some people. All right, and that's what I'm trying to do here on the channel. So the issue is, let's say in 3-4 years, somebody didn't hear about this update, and there's something going on, and they want to get their crypto sent or out in an emergency. And they don't have their private key for whatever reason. Maybe it's in a bank vault where it's supposed to be. They just have their ledger. Maybe they're out of town. Maybe they're out in a different country. Like, I take my ledger with me. All right? Now, let's say in 3-4 years, there's an exploit. I try to put my ledger in and make a transaction. Hackers already know they stopped support. Guess what? My wallet gets drained. Or this little ledger device, where is it, doesn't work because there's technical issues with it, and there already is. And I have a video and comments. I'm answering to comments. I'm trying to actually help people actually use it. The screen is so dim you can't see crap. Then you have issues with moving your funds. You have to update Bitcoin, and you can't. It takes a while. Then you can't use Ethereum. You have to literally take it out and put it back in, and take out Ethereum from your line and then use it. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. It really is. All right. I had to remove Bitcoin to use my Ethereum to send it to another wallet, and that's what I actually suggest you do, especially with Bitcoin, because of the issue I just mentioned earlier on in this video. And you're not thinking of all the times that somebody can get really in trouble when you stop support. Yes, I'm not saying keep this device forever and supporting it forever, but why didn't you have email communication? Why did you allow this device to keep on being sold? When the Ledger Nano X had its backdoor, right? Just to touch on this real quick, I don't have a problem with seed phrase recovery. I thought it was actually a good idea. But you shouldn't have just added it in to somebody that bought an X. You should have made a new device, called it something else, like the X something, and had it on that device, and not confuse people and make them panic when you made that update, because that's what you thought, right? So that's my issue when it comes to communication. That's my issue when it comes to doing things with people which people didn't subscribe to, and not the reason they bought the Nano S or the X in this case. So let's say now you have your seed phrase or whatever, your 12 words in a bank vault, which you're supposed to do, or you've hidden it somewhere safe, and you have your ledger with the password, with instructions on how to access crypto in 3-5 years if something happens to you, and touch wood, you die. Now, your offspring has this ledger, may or may not find the seed phrase, may or not be able to use it, but has these instructions on the ledger. But guess what? You can't fucking use the ledger anymore because it's not being supported, or it gets drained, or it simply doesn't work. That's my issue. It's communication. And unfortunately, Ledger, lately, you haven't been doing a very good job with that. I've seen your products. Don't think I'm hating. If you watch my video in a couple of days, it's coming out from IBS, Istanbul Blockchain Summit. I was keynote speaking there. I also was on a panel moderating it and was a presenter on the stage. If you watch that video, you will actually see Ledger, and I'm actually promoting Ledger in that video. I did not take that part out. Okay, so it's not like I'm not promoting Ledger, but I'm showing your update, because people subscribe to this to see updates on what's going on, and I'd not shy away from it. No, I'm not recommending your product anymore, because I took it away from my website, obviously, because I just think other wallets are better, and they've been better with their CS when it comes to us. That's my point of the video. My point of the video is not you can take your seed phrase and put another wallet or whatever. My point is, you shouldn't if you got Bitcoin in there, because you might not be able to see your Bitcoin. It might be there, but you won't be able to see it in a new wallet. But even if you can, and that's not an issue, there are so many issues that can go on with that Nano S. People that don't know about the support stopping since 2022, they could have a device that could potentially get hacked. Right? If somebody gets a hold on the device, more than definitely get hacked if you stop support. I mean, it's not as, I mean, there are ways to use a device and get your private key, believe it or not. The new ones, not so much because they're the chip. I think the Nano X has one as well. That's okay. But your old one, yes, definitely you need to upgrade. But it should have been communicated in a better way, more transparently, and you should have done a marketing campaign for this. A campaign to let people know that they need to upgrade their ledger, and maybe, just maybe, if they did it since 2022, if they bought a ledger after that, give them the price difference. Tell them, okay, the Ledger Nano X is so much, this is how much the Nano S costs, subtract that price from the Nano X. Or make another device that you are supporting. I mean, you have money, you've made money, you can't just support, and for those, there's some stupid comments out there I can't take. It's like, oh, would you complain with Windows updates, blah, blah, blah? I don't hold over $1 million on a Windows USB key, you muppet. And most people don't either. What's wrong with you guys? Like, just because I understand kissing ass, I really do. And some channels out there, they're sponsored by certain wallets and they want to say only good things and they defend them. And I get that, that's fine. Now, this channel is not like that. This channel is known to call out scams in sponsored videos. Like, you see a sponsored video and I call out the scam. That's what the crypto factor is. Okay, we call red flags. And I give my opinion. And for those of you saying I'm bitching and blah, 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 and don't be so stingy, dude, like, what's wrong with you? Obviously, you're not watching the video. Secondly, you don't understand the video because of TikTok brain. You can't even pay attention to the video, so don't comment. Don't comment. I got some good comments, some really good feedback that challenged my opinion. I've answered them. I also got some really stupid things. Like, for example, here, is the X still good? Yes, I have issues with Ledger on another level, which I explained in the other video, but X is a very good wallet. This guy just bought one. What to do now? This guy's saying chill out. Like, dude, like, what do you mean chill out? This is YouTube. You're supposed to be entertaining. You want to have character. If you want to watch some boring guy like, oh my God, so this just stopped the support and like and just bores you to death, go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to go into a trance because you can't pay attention because of the TikTok brain anyway, that's okay. Go ahead. Do that. That's fine. There's some nice cat videos you can watch and have a giggle after as well. Cry more. Stay poor, dude. What do you mean cry more? Why am I crying? What kind of a stupid thing is that? That's just immature, shows you're an imbecile, young, and probably broke. Comments like that I shouldn't even respond to. Generally speaking, by the way, those of you saying, why are you responding to comments? Why are you because some of these comments, even though they're rude as fuck, I actually respect people's time to make these comments. Most YouTubers ignore comments. I try to answer all comments at the same level that they comment, though. Right? So I'm actually giving you respect and giving you my time and answering comments because I care and I genuinely want to help people. I could ignore you. I could click hide and you would never know it. All right? I could do this. Like, for example, instead of saying stay poor over here, or I don't know, let's do another one. This guy, chill out. That is not that bad. Let's find another one. Anyway, oh, Carlo, look. Laugh out loud. The funny thing is nothing is held on your wallet. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Everything is held on a blockchain. Wow. Ledger is just keys you own. Sounds like you don't know beans from bullshit. I love this, okay? Who is paying you to smash Ledger? Yeah, the Illuminati is paying me to smash Ledger. Again, if you have Bitcoin on your Ledger and it's set to use different addresses, and different wallets do this, by the way, it's not just Ledger. There's a change of Bitcoin address. Then the issue is when you put your private keys in another wallet, it will just see the last transaction of your Bitcoin or your last account. Let's say your last volume of Bitcoin. There's a lack of best. Okay, look, I just woke up, so maybe I'm not being articulate here, but you understand what I mean. It will show you an amount of Bitcoin that's not the actual reflection of your Bitcoin. Yes, you can still see it on Chain Genius, but most people won't know how to do that. Okay, and I've made videos about seed phrases in blockchain and how wallets, it's not actually in your wallet. I have over 1,700 videos on my channel, dude. Believe me, I've mentioned this. Okay, but anyway, regardless, you know what's funnier? You have such TikTok brain, you can't watch a video and actually get to the point. How much did you watch? A few seconds or just read the title? Stay in your lane, okay? Now, what are the answer? Laugh out loud, laugh out loud. And by the way, who the hell has a Nano? Wah, I'm done with Ledger, shut the fuck up. Yeah, dude, you know who has a Nano? Those of us that got into crypto in 2017 or around when Ledger launched, that probably has more Bitcoin than what your net worth is. So stay in your lane, dude. Just stay in your lane. And I explain the actual points here. So here, let me make a few points. When did you hear about discontinued support? Apparently, they stopped full support in 2022, but we're hearing about this now. Great look. Meanwhile, they didn't address the backdoor issue with X when everyone was buying S because there was no room for the backdoor. So this is a nice point. A lot of people bought Nano S, even under my suggestion. Because the Nano S was so small, you can't have a backdoor in it. You can't really have a backdoor in it, and that's why we were buying the Nano S, because it was dependable. Now that they have that backdoor, and by backdoor, what I mean is the way to recover your key phrase, you might not think it's important, but I think it is, because A, if they are in 3 different countries, and they can get your private key and save you, that's all great, but that means so can government with, if they really want to, they can ask for it. And Ledger can cry that they won't give it all day, and different countries have different... Dude, you don't know what changes or what happens in the future. But my second point is, do that. That's fine. Get a new device. Don't put in a device that people bought trusting that that thing would never happen. That's the point. And that's where I think Ledger fucked up back then, is the way they communicated this and handled this. And I'm not the only one that, a lot of us have this issue, but I even defended them back then. I said, okay, they did this, but it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And you can watch videos from back then. But that is an issue. And they just went with it, right? Also, what happens if this didn't come out and people didn't know about this in a few years? Yes, a lot of people don't know about this, have a Ledger Nano S, maybe lost their private key, and you can sit there, private keys in my support. Yeah, we know that. Or maybe their private keys in the back vault or somewhere, or the other house where they had it, for say, burnt down, whatever. You don't know what happens to each individual. Shit, somebody can be traveling with a Ledger Nano S and not have their private key with them, and something happens, needs to get their Bitcoin out, exploit or something they need or whatever, and they put their Nano S in, but it's not being supported. They have malware on the computer, which was planted in before, and boom, they get drained. Or even simpler, you can't use it because it's not supported anymore and it stops working. And Ledger's saying it does work, don't worry, I read that post. No, it doesn't. It's got issues even now. So yes, I understand upgrading, but you also have to understand it's not that black and white. This is flying under the radar for most people, and I assure you, if it wasn't for people like me, it would fly even lower. This is true. So one day in 3 years, I go to make a transaction, Nano S is not supported, and boom, my system was already infected by hackers, and now this, and I got drained. Awesome, right? And there are many examples, and look, I'm not going to bore you with examples because I went through them in the other video, but for those of you commenting bullshit, there's 3 sides to a coin. The heads, the tails, and the edge. And you need to be able to stand on the edge and look at all 3 sides, including the one you are on. Not everything revolves around you. Not everybody has the same use case. Not everybody is clear-cut. Not everybody's in the same situation than you. I was in hospital dying of cancer, and I had my Ledger Nano S with my password for my girlfriend to use. Obviously, I did not have my private key written down at the same place as my Ledger. Right? And you might say, oh, Paul, you should have done this. Well, you go through chemo and fucking think about that shit. And bone marrow transplant 3 times, by the way. You go ahead and think about that shit, right? So don't give me crap. Complaining about this is like complaining the iPhone 5 is no longer supported. No, it's not. No, it's not. How much crypto are you stored on your iPhone 5, dude? Tell me. And did iPhone 5 actually stop support within 2-3 years, or does it take 5 years, I think, or more for them to stop support and they give it a transition? Plus, the iPhone 5 has a huge campaign telling everybody this. I didn't see Ledger do this. Ledger, did you get an email? Comment down below if you got an email from Ledger telling you that the Ledger stopped support in 2022. Right? Tell me if you got an email now, in 30th of May, when this came out. It's now July. Did you get an email? Don't give me shit, dude. Don't give me shit when you don't know what you're talking about. And you got more here. You got more comments. Buy a new ledger for crying out loud and stop complaining, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God, I'm so smart. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Right? You want me to show you more? I'm not wearing any pants because I'm on YouTube, obviously. I could go to my cupboard right now and grab more. But I don't want you to see my penis, even though you deserve to see it. Anyway, that's the point, okay? Now, if you wanted more information, if you want to know more, I don't want to keep on this video going. If you want to know more about what I said, go watch the video I made about Ledger and the update. It's right here. And maybe you don't disagree with a few things. Maybe you do agree with some things. It's just my point of view. And I'm willing to talk to you in the comments. Watch that video there. And Ledger, please fix your game. You were the industry standard. You're not anymore. You definitely can become the industry standard again, but you need to be able to communicate. Watch that video. See you in the next one.